Hey guys, Brandon Willem with GodTube today, hanging out here in Nashville with Ginny Owens. How are you?
Good, Brandon. How are you?
Yeah, welcome back to town.
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to be back.
Yeah, so today,
Thanks for the warm, sunny day that you.
yeah, that was very nice. A week away, we would have had an ice storm and probably had to cancel this. So it's much nicer today. 75 degrees in Nashville.
It's awesome. It was 1 when I left New York yesterday. So
Yeah, so today we're sitting here at the Museum of Christian and Gospel Music. This is the third of 3 shows you've been doing to kind of plug this new EP that you've got out, or some of it is out. The rest of it will be out on February 20th.
Yes.
Different Kind of Water. Talk to us about the title there, what that means to you, and just what can we expect when we get this full project out?
Well, this is an EP that I've been writing over the last, I'm going to say 5 years, like 5 songs, 5 years. It took a while. But each song on the EP is a spiritual conversation that I want to have with my friends who are not yet believers. So that was one of the main inspirations. Every song is about, something that we all know something about. So believer or not, we know what it is to just never be completely satisfied, to just keep longing and trying to find something to fulfill our longing. And we know what it is to struggle to forgive. And we know what it is to have something negative on repeat in our minds that we need to get rid of. And we know what it is to struggle to put others before ourselves. So all of those are just concepts that ended up in the songs on the album, and concepts that I love to talk to people about, especially just in New York City. A lot of my friends are not believers and just really aren't sure why Jesus would actually be relevant or someone that they need to know. And so each of these songs feels like a great bridge to have that sort of a conversation and explain more to them.
Yeah, holding on to these songs for 5 years, what made you think now is finally the right time? This version of this song, now is the time to get this out to the world.
It took me 5 years to write all of them. So it was not like one song a year. It was like I'd write half the song. And so when they were finally just all done, and I knew that they were saying exactly what I intended them to say, and that they were exactly what I would be able to say in conversation with someone, I think that's when I knew, okay, we can go now. It's time.
Yeah, you talked about New York. That is now your home base now. You live up there, but you hadn't got to play a show there, right? 8 years up there, and your first show was just a few weeks ago?
I know. Well, I've been a little busy. I went to seminary, and then I've been working at my church for several years. And so a show just has kind of been one of those things I would eventually do in the area. And so I've been traveling, but even though I travel, still pretty frequently, a lot of people that I, lead worship for every week don't even know that I do music. So it was time to get to do a show, and it was a lot of fun. It really was.
Yeah, 3 of these songs we've already got to hear. 2 of them are still hiding for a few more weeks. What was the song when you decided to put these 5 out that you really couldn't wait for people to get to hear on their playlists?
Oh, man. Well, all of them, of course, Brandon. They're all my babies. I love Different Kind of Water. It's my personal favorite. And it's just all about the idea that we keep longing for something. We keep trying to satisfy ourselves with things and stuff. And, whether it's material goods or whether it's power or whether it's, being drawn into our work and just letting that identify us, or our relationships or whatever it is. And, when it comes to Jesus, it's like, this is something completely different. We were made for someone completely different. And so that song is probably the dearest to me. But then also God Will Meet You There, which is a song about how in our longings and our questions and our doubts, God is always just waiting for us. He's waiting to speak to us and move in our lives.
Yeah, writing this album up there in New York over these past 5 years, how different was it than writing the projects over all those years here in Nashville, where you're surrounded by Christian songwriters, churches every block? New York City is a much different world than Nashville as far as Christian songwriters and songwriting. How did that influence these 5 songs?
Well, it definitely influenced the lyrics, as I mentioned earlier, just in the sense that I just was thinking about things that perhaps I never thought about in the same way in Nashville, being sort of in the Christian songwriting bubble. But just thinking about the hard questions of life and how do we wrestle with those together. But then also, I learned to use audio message and text a lot for songwriting. So I actually did end up finishing a lot of these songs with writers in Nashville. And so we would do late night, early morning voice message sessions, and, we got it done that way. So that was also very sweet. But I think I had to kind of go to New York to to think about what I wanted to write next. So it gave me space not to feel pressure of, well, this is the next cool, Christian music thing, or this is what everyone else is doing, but to actually kind of find my own way. So that was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, and you found your way back to the coolest thing in Christian music right now, the Museum of Christian and Gospel Music.
I know, so fun. What a cool place.
Yeah, so when this gets out there, there's going to be a companion journal that also comes available too. Talk to us a little about that.
Well, since the EP is 5 songs, I thought, what fun element could we add to this to just make it accessible, but also just more than folks taking home a CD, which who even has a CD player anymore? And so we created a little book, and my wonderful assistant, Rebecca, she actually did all of the visuals and the graphics for it. And then I just wrote the stories of each song, and also the lyrics, just things that you used to see in liner notes that you don't so much anymore. So the lyrics, and also just who played on every song. And but with each story, there's a space for folks to do their own journaling and thinking and reflecting as they listen. So I hope it'll be a fun, interactive tool for people.
Will that be out on release day too, the same day?
It is out. In fact, you can pre-order that on the website even now. So,
awesome. Well, up there in New York, you're the director of worship arts for your church. Yeah. On top of this, the career outside of church. How do you balance those two? That's something that a lot of people do here in Nashville, but again, in New York, it may not happen as much. How do you find that balance of church and career?
I pray a lot. If I don't have my quiet time in the morning, then I'm in the pit for the rest of the day. So I really do that, and I have great friends who keep me accountable and keep me honest. And and I don't think I do the balance very well, but I think when you continue to come and talk to the Lord about it, and talk to your friends and ask them for help, then you can make it work.
Yeah, and if other people are looking at this interview and they want to be the next Ginny Owens worship leader, you're going to be helping them out a little bit this year too. After you get these songs out, you've got another project coming in the spring to help worship leaders. Talk to us about that.
Yes, I have a new nonprofit called the Asaph Project. And for those who don't know, Asaph was one of David's song leaders and also one of the psalm writers that we find in the Old Testament. And so the Asaph Project exists to equip worship leaders with ministry training, like, why should I put this song after the next song, and what would serve the congregation best here in this spot? So answering questions like that, but then also thinking about songwriting. And we will be doing some songwriting. So the Asaph Project will have music that releases that will be beneficial for the church. But then I'm also just excited to do a lot of ministry training for worship leaders.
Yeah. After all these decades in this industry and worship music, what do you notice with young worship leaders that you wish you could tell them that maybe you know now, but you didn't know when you started?
Well, there's so many things. I think just always remember, it's not a performance. It's not about you. And not only does that mean that on Sunday morning when you're leading, it's not about you, but during the week when you are thinking about what you need to sing on Sunday, make sure it's accessible to every generation in your church. Make sure it's singable, and make sure it has lyrics in it that are deep and that are worth carrying into the week with them. Because remember, your people are going through things all week. They are having their days where they're in the pit. They're having their days of joy, and they need lyrics that they can really cling to in whatever's going on in their life. So give them that.
Yeah, tonight we get to conclude this little mini tour of the EP release parties here in Nashville. Lots of friends will be here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Folks that are watching this somewhere else in the world that weren't in these 3 lucky cities that we got Ginny Owens this time, are they ever going to get a chance to hear these live anywhere?
Well, sure. I mean, just let me know. I'll come to a city near you, and I'll be traveling and speaking. And even when I speak, I usually will share a couple of these songs. But, if you want to do a concert, get in touch.
Yeah, well, Different Kind of Water, the full EP will be out there. And just a little over a week from today, may already be out there when you're seeing this, February 20th. And the Companion Journal is also out there. Good seeing you today, Ginny.
Good seeing you, too. Thank you so much.
Yeah.